go.
Shit gets heavy. The city is amazing, y'all.
Miss, we here.
But we back at it again. Can't get rid of this life.
The life we go through. If you were in my shoes, I wouldn't approach you. We get it how we live, we learn the harder way. But we don't show no pity. The good times be litty. It's just the life in the city. The life we go through. If you were in my shoes, I wouldn't approach you. We get it how we live, we learn the harder way. But we don't show no pity. The good times be litty. It's just the life in the city. This is a mess. Pull up as class, anonymous on the dash. This life we living fast, we gotta get to this cash. Live a life of crime, PD gon' be on your ass. If you choose to take a slow, you might prosper to get a bag. I'm somewhere in the middle, a cross between risking it all and being simple. Playing chess, not checkers, false moves detrimental. And take care of our game because my family is my temple. And shit can get intense. The life we go through. If you were in my shoes, I wouldn't approach you. We get it how we live, we learn the harder way. But we don't show no pity. The good times be litty. It's just the life in the city. The life we go through. If you were in my shoes, I wouldn't approach you. We get it how we live, we learn the harder way. But we don't show no pity. The good times be litty. It's just the life in the city. This is a mess.
Yeah, started from the bottom, now we here. And I'm pulling on the drive, switching gears. Living in my life, it's getting serious. Yeah, I know this fucking city getting curious. Esco and Kitty on the beat. You know we fucking out it back in heat. Like we from Miami, we a team. Yeah, tapped a fucking vest, we looking mean. Out here in the fields, we growing green. Partying it up and sipping lean. Yeah, not legion of the club, we in between. With a gun in our hands, it's a machine. Nothing like the city throwing bands. Stretch carving the shit, throwing hands. Ivan is my dad, yeah, he's the man. Started up with Jay.
The life we go through. If you were in my shoes, I wouldn't approach you. We get it how we live, we learn the harder way. But we don't show no pity. The good times be litty. It's just the life in the city. The life we go through. If you were in my shoes, I wouldn't approach you. We get it how we live, we learn the harder way.
Yes, a voice and a touch. It's always way too much. That look in her eye, her asking why I'm the lucky guy. No, I've never seen her there, but now she's everywhere. And how can I contain my love for her? Her eyes and her smile and her hair, they drive me wild. No talking, she tells me with a stare. In the future I'll be there, with the love that we both share. You know that I could care for her. Whoa. I love
motherfucker too. Zeno, keep killing it. Woo. Been on about shit, but tell me what y'all saying. I guess this shit a game to y'all, but when did we start playing? Brought a Tech 9 to your block and Logan Lamb and started spraying. That never dropped me once, remember everything I'm saying. Been in this for a minute, now the kingpin of this meth shit. Your whole gang by work for me, but claim y'all want the step shit. Imaginary friend drip that purple ass necklace. No need to call ruthless, Madrazo getting reckless. Turn that F into an L and you can see just how that shit change. I don't see shit fame, be honest, it's a shit game. Talk behind my back, but y'all can never catch me slipping. Smiling in my face, but know y'all really keep a distance. Rapping on the media, that capping gotta stop it. Before I pull up on your block and take that drink out your pocket. Be spinning till I'm dizzy, might just throw up on your whole clip. Let Kings roll up on your set, but you ain't roll shit.
Rolling up that lane pack, lost against my enemy. Streaks in this bitch, I'ma make y'all remember me. Cartel on top, when y'all pretend to be streets, bitch, I'm infamous.
All right. We back. We've been gone for
Yes, sir. Welcome back to the podcast. It's been a minute, but we are definitely glad to be back, man. Happy to see the community thriving. It's up there. It's up there. We appreciate all the support. We got some big things going on tonight. A major surprise for y'all, as a matter of fact. Everybody been hearing, we got a new mayor coming in town. There's a big electoral vote going on. So I, dibble and dab. You know me. I do my business stuff. I'm always trying to get in somewhere where I fit in. So I was able to get Jack and Oscar in the building tonight, and we up here for a little debate. We get to hear a little debate go down tonight. So let's go ahead and start with Jack, man. How you feeling tonight, man?
Not bad at all.
Yes, sir. It's good to have you here, man. Glad that you going for mayor. That's pretty fucking dope. I tried to do it, but I'm a criminal. My record's fucked, so they're not messing with me. I feel like I could have. Feel like I could have made some changes. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
I mean, you talk to me about them changes. I'll see what I can do for you, man.
That sounds good. We're gonna get into all that tonight, man. So let's start by asking you, what made you want to, go for the debate? What made you want to become a mayor?
So basically, my mayoral pursuit was, as far as it goes, I've always wanted to see a change in the city. I wanted to be the change in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, when I first flew in, I wanted to be a lawyer. So I went for prosecution, thinking, hey, maybe I can make a change this way. And I didn't feel it. I didn't feel like I was making a change that I wanted to see. So I went with EMS, and I absolutely love being EMS.
Mm-hmm.
I love fixing you guys up when y'all get in trouble and everything, and I like helping people. I truly do. But as far as making a change in the city, I'm helping people and I love that, but I want to see the city grow and be the best it can be.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that as mayor, I feel like I get the opportunity to make the city better and listen to the citizens of the city and, put their ideas on paper and really push for it.
Yeah, that's what the city needs.
So look, man, I'm pretty sure throughout this entire campaign, we're going to hear a lot of people with the same thing. I want to help somebody, I want to help the city. I got a lot of plans and changes for the city. If you don't mind, go into a little detail about what plans that you have for the city. What do you got going on? What's some things that you're looking at that you know for a fact needs to be changed? What's your agenda?
So my main focus is going to be economy. I see that my main one is I see there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of money, and the truth of the matter is they've got everything they want.
Right.
They've got all this money and nothing to do with it.
Right.
And so I'd like to see them give back to the community a little bit, because money sat on is not money that's boosting our economy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to incentivize them to sponsor programs from the city. So I'm thinking things like food drives for some people who, when they're flying in, you really don't get a lot of money.
Right.
You don't start off with a whole lot.
Mhm.
And usually that means you'll have to choose between getting food and getting a car, getting, something like that.
Mhm. You're right.
So I'd like to see some of these people with a lot of money. I'd like to see them sponsor events like food drives or even just general get together, parties and things like that, events. And I'd like to see individuals sponsor instead of seeing businesses so much. Because, businesses have to make ends meet still. But
Right.
these people with a lot of money, they've got all their ends met. So it comes down to, I'd like to see them giving back to the community a bit. And, I like to see it really, bring the community together.
Yeah. So you mean just civs and businesses alike, not just businesses. You want to see everybody to just pretty much.
I want to see everyone
it
brought
up
together. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody's got to start. I get it.
Because businesses are already doing so much for our community, not just by being there in the community, but you see them sponsoring things all the time, from car shows and mechanic shops,
Mhm.
to even food, being donated to different events from places like Pops or places like Pearls, and I like to see that. I truly do. But instead, I'd like to see these people with millions of dollars to put in that money to buy the food instead of it being, coming out of the restaurants or the store's money,
Okay. So we got Potent V2 in the chat. He says EMS is never in city. What will you do about the EMS shortage? I know I can definitely vouch for the shortage on EMS. So do you have things planned for that?
As a paramedic and recently an FTO, we do currently have, I believe it's 19 new recruits that are being trained.
Oh yeah, I do. You know what? Y'all doing pretty good too. I got to a car accident today. My fault. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it just dawned on me, man. I got into a car accident today, man, and for the first time in maybe some months, bro, EMS came to get me, man. I didn't have to, wait for somebody to see me or nothing like that. They patched me up, man. I hurt myself. It wasn't too bad, you know what I'm saying? But they came. Like EMS is actually riding around now, so that's pretty dope.
We've got a lot of numbers, and we've been doing pretty good as far as getting those numbers up and working on being out there and actually helping people a lot more. I personally usually work the quieter times when you don't see a lot of EMS because people are still getting hurt and they still need help. And I feel that working the quieter times is when nobody else is working. It's when you need a paramedic.
Heck yeah. That's dope, man. Well, let's not take up too much time. We got another guy in here. Big old Oscar. What's going on?
Hi, sir.
Player in here.
That's right, baby.
Big surprise. You didn't even know I had this debate coming for y'all. Y'all both didn't know that.
No idea. I didn't. So I had the question, Jack. All your ideas sound perfect. You sound like you could be the perfect socialist. So my major question is for you when it comes to your events. I understand you want to quote unquote incentivize these businesses to host more events, but the real question is, what are you going to do to make them do these events? And I understand you want to make the rich give back to the poor, but that also comes to the debate. Why should the ultra rich have to give up some of their money to the poor? You see, they deserved all of their money. They worked harder or just as hard as some to get to the spot where they're at today. Now, the biggest question, and I don't understand why the other candidates are saying this and how much they're going to tax people, when truthfully, we don't even know what the GDP is of our city. We don't even really know how much these people are making. It's just assumptions. So how can you and other politicians say we're going to create all these tax systems in place when we don't even know how much they're making? And when it comes to these events and the food drives and giving out more prizes and et cetera, at the end of the day, how is that going to benefit the businesses, especially when the taxes do come? What do you have in place to help these businesses when they help the community? What are you going to do?
So, minor correction. I specifically don't want businesses hosting events. I think the businesses have put enough events out there. I feel that I've seen them. Every event you see is by, either a group or organization or business. I want to see individuals sponsoring and hosting events with the money that they have.
All right.
Or
So
the
where
city hosting events.
are they going to
But
allocate these funds from?
So I'm when I say incentivize, I've talked to quite a few people that have a lot of money, and I hear a common complaint. Well, I have all these cars, I have all these houses. They own property, they own cars, and yet they still have all this money, and they don't have anywhere to spend it. When the comic book store came out, I witnessed it myself. Everyone went crazy for these cards, and they're amazing cards. Honestly, I collected them myself. Still do, obviously, but. And so all these people with money were going out of their way to get these items, and because they're new, there's something they could spend their money on. But otherwise, what can you do when you already got it all? So when I say incentivize, really, these people already want to put back into the community. They want to boost the economy with the money that they have. It just comes down to giving them something to put that money into. And obviously, I'll see what they want out of incentivizations and everything. I have no intention of forcing these people to give up their money, because as much as taxing seems like it'd be great for the city, I want them to do it willingly. I want these people to want to give back to the community. I want them to use their money to help other people, because money sat on is not money that's benefiting the economy.
So
money is meant to be gathered and then used and then gathered again. Otherwise, it's just sitting stagnant, and it affects the economy of others.
So with all honesty, I get to what you're saying, but that's already happening. Think about it. How many events happen every single day? At least 3 or more.
But how many of them are run by businesses, and how many of them are run by individuals?
A lot of people are doing them just by themselves. For instance, like Joey. That is all from Joey. Joey runs all these derbies.
I'm sorry.
Yes, and Lex. And just like for tonight, Lex is providing everything for my campaign dinner. I reached out to her. I said, hey, I want to throw this amazing event. She said, okay, no problem. I'm going to cover the food. I'm going to cover the drinks. I'm going to cover everything. You come down and have fun. And we'll use even DJ Crow, for example. These people aren't charging me. They're already doing what you're saying is happening. So it's almost like we're just running around in circles over and over and over. I get what you're saying, and you want more and more and more to be pushed out, but it's already happening. So it doesn't make any sense. And you can go check for yourself, and the same thing with everyone. How many events are being thrown tonight? Go and look. And how many play there for tomorrow? And the next day, and the next day, and the next day. These events are happening every single night. And with all honesty, if you think you can get more, what makes you think these people can attend every single event? This is what I'm confused about.
Now, I'm not saying I don't want to see these businesses still hosting things. I'm saying I want, instead of the businesses sponsoring them, I want these individuals sponsoring them. So instead of these events being sponsored by businesses, I want to see individuals sponsoring them.
So every single person I just mentioned does not own a business. The majority of events that happen every single
business.
Yes,
it's not official.
It's not really right. That's not really official.
Just like me. That's like my business. It's like the business that we're using right now.
So on top of it, I also want to just mention, every single night there are people that they're hosting events. For example, we'll use one for tomorrow. Tomorrow there is a scavenger hunt at 7 p.m. EST. It's about 2 clowns hiding in Roxwood, and you have to go find them.
By Sweet Hole Donut Shop?
Yes. Sweet Hole Donuts. They're not a business, right? They're trying.
I consider them, whether they're officially a business or whether they're a small business, I consider them a business nonetheless.
Okay,
if they're providing this community with a good or service and they are taking payment for it, I consider that a business.
They're not taking payment for it.
No.
Donuts.
But they invest in.
So it's free entry, right? And whoever wins gets $100,000. I don't know how it can't get better than that. Imagine you just flew in the city and you won the $100,000. That goes a long way. A lot of
No,
these
absolutely.
businesses, yes, they do charge entry, but let's be honest. And we're gonna use Humble Homes for example tomorrow. Do you know what their first place prize pool is? It's $1 million.
Mhm.
How do I get into this competition? You $1 million?
So some people, and I understand businesses do have to charge, but the greater reward you can receive is 4 or 6 times higher than the entry cost. So they are essentially giving back to the community. Realistically, a lot of these people aren't even really making money. For instance, Joey, yes, does charge for his events, but that money is simply going back for the repairs. He's not there to make money, and he's supporting local businesses such as 508 Tow by calling them to come down and tow the vehicles back to the repair shop, which he's covering for. So
All right. I love his derbies. I haven't won one yet, but I've been.
they're great.
I've been most of them.
They're
Yeah.
amazing. You should check out ReasonReport.com. There's an article about it.
So besides the topic of businesses and stuff like that, what are some other changes you guys have planned for the community that can benefit the community?
Yeah, the citizens, other than just business, because I mean, business is a big part, but we got other things going on. We got PD, we got to worry about. We got Civs, we got Crims. You know, it's a lot more than just business.
Well, let's start.
I'm
there.
absolutely.
Let's start at the PD situation. I, just by running in and talking to, random people, there seems to be some type of disconnect between the civilians of Los Santos and the police department that's put in place to protect us. What are some things you guys are going to install to kind of, bridge that gap between the civilians and PD to kind of create a more healthy relationship between everybody?
Jack, do you want to interject off of that?
I can. I
let's
can.
start with
I
Oscar.
can start.
Or, yeah,
All right.
Let's start with you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Certainly, no problem. So I have a couple policies in mind already. A lot of I've heard one candidate. I'm not exactly sure who. I don't really remember. But they said they wanted to do a complete police reformation, and I think it's a terrible idea. Any mayor that thinks he can stick his hands directly into the police department and start firing, hiring, promoting people, and start moving things around and policies, etc., is a terrible idea. It's not only going to disrupt the function of LSPD, but it's going to throw everyone off track. So what I think is actually taking a very minimal approach to it. A couple things I do have in mind is actually creating a new department and possibly even two. I had in mind actually creating Department of Corrections, also known as DOC. A lot of people have been to jail and they understand the frustration of when it's time for your booking process, you sit at the bottom of the cell from anywhere from 15 minutes, even up to sometimes 3 hours. And that doesn't go and reduce part of your sentence. That's almost like a double sentence. So I believe once the LSPD does get enough numbers, when we have the actual opportunity to open DOC, we can actually just request DOC to come down and do the transportation of the prisoners from and back through the prison. So the process is quite simple. LSPD would call DOC. They're letting them know who they're booking. They would give them a summary, the evidence, etc. And the DOC will do the booking for them. It will not only help expedite the process for the prisoners, but it will also help LSPD get back into the streets to fight crime. And another thing, I understand, I believe, Esco, you said something about something about how civilians and PD don't really get along. I mean, what have you guys experienced? What have they done to you?
I've experienced some bad pullovers,
Definitely some bad pullovers.
some ignorance at its finest, just flexing their power, their authority, knowing that they have that badge on and they feel like they can do whatever they want, you know what I mean? So that's an issue there. They're pretty cocky. I would like to say that they have a W mentality.
I agree.
If they don't win, you win another situation, you know what I'm saying? So
currently, there is a way to complain against an officer, but the process is with all honesty, quite shit. That process is going down to PD and speaking with a LSPD supervisor. You tell them who the officer is, you tell them what they did, and supposedly they send it up the chain verbally. There is actually no written complaint form, and the issue is
I'd like to interject with that.
I can recall a time I've asked for an officer's badge number and he didn't give it to me.
Right.
Now, I'd like to interject on this.
Please go ahead. Go ahead, Jack. Let's hear it.
You guys are saying that the way to file a complaint against an officer is to go directly to supervisors and travels up the chain by mouth.
That is what I got told by LSPD.
I beg to differ because there is the district attorney's office that is meant to be lawyers for the PD. So as far as complaints against officers and case against officers, I don't feel that it's something the PD is really responsible for because the DA's office is meant to keep them in check. And it's not necessarily on the not on the DOJ.
Bro, the
either.
DOJ is in turmoil, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
I understand. Believe me, I came from it. I was a prosecutor there myself.
Jack, I think you're getting slightly confused. The DA is there to actually support the PD. The DA is not going to go against the police department. For instance, say a person was trying to sue LSPD, the DA would be there to protect the PD. Not only that, that is not internal affairs. What I was about to say is that there is internal affairs in place, but internal affairs is by the LSPD. It's by officers in the higher command. And respectfully, that does not work at all. You can't have someone being internal affairs and LSPD at the same time. It's just a conflict of interest.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be an actual way to have a written complaint form that people have access to from the DOJ and PD side to make sure these things are documented and to make sure it goes to the proper people. It shouldn't go to DA. It should go to internal affairs, and internal affairs will open this investigation towards this officer. Now, what I don't really think officers should be fired from their job. What I do think needs to happen is more training, and at the worst, suspension, and possibly even deducting their pay. I think the last case scenario is what we want to do is fire police officers. LSPD simply does not have the numbers. It would be a terrible idea. And of course, worst case scenario, then yes, the officer would get removed. But no, I don't think they would go to the DA. That DA doesn't take civil.
The DA is the one responsible for representing the police in the matter. So
yes.
You would go to a lawyer and they would go to the DA, but you could go directly to the DA with complaints against the police department.
You can.
Yeah, but
internal
affairs is for the civilians to make complaints.
You can. Well, hold on. You can, but that doesn't make sense. The DA is going to be too busy actually taking cases. I'm talking about complaints, not civil cases, not lawsuits. I'm talking about.
So you're just talking about someone stopped you didn't like the attitude or something.
Because that's where it all starts.
See, now I was thinking you were talking more complaints as in
actual lawsuits. Yes, it goes to the DA's office. The DA is always there to represent EMS and PD or any other government agency. That is the whole point of DA.
Oh yeah, I was there, I know. But mind you, I don't think the issue is necessarily PD on one side and Crims on the other. I feel that it's, in general, I feel that the way PD is treated on the streets, I've seen it. I mean, people don't like PD and they treat them the same way PD treats them.
Of course, yes. 100%.
There is a lack of understanding, a lack of, general, not respect per se, but it's kind of both sides are afraid of each other.
But typically,
because I've seen off-duty police officers get harassed on the street just because they're police officers. Which, and don't get me wrong, I don't like getting pulled over. I don't like getting, in trouble as much as the next person. But they're not there specifically to get you in trouble. They're there to keep people safe.
100%, but regardless, anyone can say anything to anyone. An officer, off the clock as well, can go up to a criminal and say things they don't like about that person. That's just the unfortunate reality we live in. People's feelings get hurt. It's unfortunate, but that is what it is. Now, I do understand what
But
you're saying, but I do think there is more hatred towards gangs from PD than there is the opposite way, unfortunately.
I beg to differ. See, I was part of an MC, LOD. Still am technically, but
Wait, so
uh,
you're in a
I'm,
gang and you're running for mayor?
I'm in a motorcycle club, not quite a gang, but I've been, motorcycle clubs get a bad rep as far as that's concerned. But um, I
Interesting.
was secretary for LOD, and I was EMS as well. It was I knew what I was doing, and I kept everything clean, and as I should, and mind you, police officers, you know, I would talk to them on a daily basis. I had a good understanding with them. As long as I treated them with respect, they treated me with respect. I didn't have any problems with them whatsoever. So I don't think it's a generalized, like, this person is part of an affiliation, that makes them immediately bad situation. I think it's a general tenseness. I think it's a general fear that people have one another, as far as police are going to arrest me and I don't have a say in it, or the gangs are going to go after me and I don't have a say in it. Because let's be honest, I mean, you see kidnappings happen all the time. This city is run rampant with kidnappings, and truth be told, I mean, I've been kidnapped more than once, man. Every day you get kidnapped at least once. Tell me you haven't.
I mean, I don't, but that sounds like people are after you.
I can say I've personally never been kidnapped.
Yeah, I haven't been kidnapped either.
I don't
Izzy,
There's something called my Second Amendment rights, baby. You run up on me if you want
Yeah.
to.
Well,
so we are
most of the
we
smarter
are
ones.
I just don't put myself in that position.
Well, that's fair, but most people can't really say anything when guns are pointed first.
Yeah,
really
true.
really quick though. We are running a little bit low on time. Izzy or Esco, is there anything you wanted to ask me or Jack really quick, and then we go to the next topic?
Shit. You got anything else?
Well, let's talk about the community again. Back to the community, but not business. It's just the community. How do y'all? What can y'all do for the civs in general? You know what I mean? Like, to make the civs feel better in the community, because there's civs in here that are, I would like to say, stressed. And don't get me wrong, I have a family. I've been around, but there are civs that are that's scared to move around. You know what I mean? I have people that come to my job, my business, that worked there, and once upon a time there was a guy that worked there. He's not even in the city no more. He got robbed, and he wouldn't leave work. You know what I mean? Like, he only came in to go to work. So,
When I
like,
first flew in the city,
what can
you
y'all
guys-
do to help protect these civs and get like that? And then that goes back into PD. You know what I mean? That's the problem, because PD has issues with all these people in the city. You know what I'm saying? That the civs don't even feel protected. You know what I mean? And gangs, even if you want to call them gangs, gang members, organized, they're still civilians. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, it's just the civs in general. Like, how do we make them feel safer?
No, Grant, I definitely can see where you're coming from. You guys at Uwu gave me my first job there, and I tried to, like, I think my third day I was in the city. I tried to leave Uwu after clocking out and immediately got kidnapped right off the street. And so from that point, I just kind of worked more hours inside. But but I've seen a lot of crime happen on business grounds and anywhere without much. Seems like they didn't really care, And I definitely feel that more police officers would benefit that, but I also feel that it comes down to this sense of community. If more people were showing more respect and to each other, there wouldn't be as many problems with it, if that makes sense. I feel that in general, like, there's not a whole lot of a sense of community that I feel more events, more involvement in the community would prevent.
So
if that makes sense.
You talk about handling these situations with having more respect for one another, but how do you as a mayor actually regulate a person's respect?
Mm.
And like
Well, regulates,
That's almost uncontrollable. You know what I mean?
you
Like,
know,
and I don't want to regulate nothing. That's not my style. I don't. I'm talking about building understanding more so because with understanding comes respect.
mhm.
Um, I like to like personally. I've had differences with people, and my go-to is I go to them directly, and I'll talk to them. I'll be like, "Hey, listen, like, this is how I'm feeling
and
about certain situations," and
Jack,
I talk it out.
everybody's not confrontational
hold
though,
on,
and
Jack.
that's only gonna work for so many people.
With all honesty, you're making me fall asleep. This feels like I'm back in kindergarten, and you're telling me
Oh,
how to how to handle a bully. Listen, to get to the point, to answer your question, there's nothing we can do. Some people are going to feel unsafe regardless, and that could come from the PD side or overall everyone's mentality. It's just the unfortunate world we live in. Now, to make people's lives easier, I can't tell you what I am going to do. So first things first, I think it's a little bit difficult when you first fly in the city because you only start with a low set amount of cash. So what I do want to actually incorporate is a grant. It's called the Solomon's Grant. The amount is still depending on how the tax is going to work, but it's not going to be a ridiculous amount. It's going to be quite reasonable. And pretty much what this grant will give you, it's going to give you a little bit more cash in your pocket. It's almost like a stimulus check. And on top of it as well, I want to have at least a weekly job fair. This gives the opportunity for businesses to come down, find more employees, and even possibly even give the ability to some of these other people to create their own businesses. And not only that, it will also help the economic infrastructure of the city. We all know there's a couple places in the city that aren't always really open, and we wish there would be open more. For instance, click lovers and the weed shops. Sometimes people wish they would be open more, and they don't have to constantly post on Birthday, "Hey, can you open? Hey, can you open?" Perhaps if we did get more people actually applying for jobs instead of doing criminal things and giving them programs and opportunities, perhaps the crime rate would actually go down and people would be more happy. So I think that's one thing we can do is host weekly job fairs, get more money in people's pockets when they first fly in, but actually perhaps even setting up a program where these businesses can come down to the city, or even gathering multiple civilians at once and shuttling them to business and showing them what these businesses have to offer and where they can apply and etc. But
No,
that's my answer on that question.
So while on the topic
Now,
of
I've got a
businesses
question.
and stuff, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh.
cut you off. I just
No,
saw Potent V2 said he wanted to kind of speak on 508.
Oh, God.
508 yeah, he wants to speak on
Now-
508. He says 508 towing needs regulations with their predatory towing. How do you guys feel about that?
I will say personally, my bike has been towed more times than I can count. Um, and even places where I've run into the hospital to take care of, a patient, to help out, some of my coworkers, and I walk out, not even 5 minutes later, it's gone, and I have to call them and be like, "Hey, listen, like, do you guys just tow my bike from underneath the canopy?" And they're like, "Well, yeah," and I'm like, "That's paramedic's bike, I kind of need that," and I have to go get it, and yeah, it's kind of they definitely, I feel that they need to tone it down. However, I will say it's something that I would want to discuss with Dale Tony, one of the other candidates. That would be something I would discuss with him if I get the office, as opposed to, because yes, I do feel that it's definitely gotten out of hand. I heard about an incident recently where they started towing cars and boats off the beach.
Yeah, there's actually a lawsuit going on about that right now.
So
Absolutely, and that is well deserved.
I like where your heart is going, but I think the question was more of what are we going to do, not of hey Dale, let's come down, let's have tea and talk. So what I want to do at least, and I think we can all agree, 508 is a gang, in my opinion. I think they tow people's vehicles regardless. In fact, one of them even tried robbing me. When I first flew in the city, you know how much it costed me to get my car back? $20,000. All right, they ripped me off. Okay, I have zero respect for 508. So what I will want to do is, I don't understand why they think they can just tow everyone's vehicle. In fact, special shout out to you, Dale. You have your own website called 508strong.com. Everyone can look it up. And you have your own quote-unquote SOPs. And by all means, everyone can fact-check this. Within those SOPs, you are claiming you are legally allowed to tow any vehicle that's been parked on the street 1 hour or longer, since it's quote-unquote deemed as abandoned. I want you to know you're an idiot, publicly. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. These are public streets. These are tax dollar paid. Stop towing people's vehicles. And on top of it, what I do want to do is actually set a rate for 508 towing. And yes, I legally can. Why? Because 508, you are the only towing company in Los Santos. Therefore, you are deemed as a monopoly. So your rates can be set by DOJ legally, and there's nothing you can do about it. So that is one thing I do want to do, is to actually set up certain rates from 508 towing, and actually possibly if they do illegally tow someone's car, I actually want to impose a new legislation. For instance, if it costs you $10,000 to get your car back, and they towed it illegally, 508 can possibly be responsible 10 times that amount to be paid back to that person if they illegally towed their vehicle. More procedures need to be set up with 508 towing instead of them constantly towing people's vehicles. It's honestly out of control.
I love it.
Now, I'm going to just interject here. So you're saying that you're fine with them having a monopoly as long as you control their rates?
No, I'm not fine with anyone having a monopoly. Anyone has the ability to start the towing company, but no one has. Therefore, they are the only towing company right now. Therefore, they are deemed as a monopoly. Yes, DOJ can set the fair rate, and it obviously won't be $100. It will just make sure they are equivalent due to inflation, and they do have a set, margin. And that margin can be about 40% they could be making off these vehicles. It's just making sure these citizens are not overpaying these for these cars that 508 is towing. Does that answer your question?
That definitely does answer my question.
Answers mine.
I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people, even a lot of people listening, who has a nightmare story with that towing company.
Man,
and don't get me wrong, like I'm there with you, but I don't believe in regulating businesses. I feel that instead of regulating the business, we should encourage. We should encourage people to.
This is not Sweden. I'm sorry. We cannot just sit there and talk to someone. Hey guys, can you please lower your rate, please, pretty please?
No.
People want action, and they want it now.
No, hang on a minute. I'm not saying nothing about none of that. I'm saying that we need to put, limits on what they're doing. Don't get me wrong, but changing what they can charge people, I mean, that means that you could go into Click Lovers and tell them, hey, you're not going to charge this much for this. You're gonna do it less.
So
I feel like that's overstepping your bounds.
When it comes to 508, I'm not necessarily talking about, because yes, they do, like some of the drop fees and some of the getting your car at impounds pretty steep. I don't believe this issue hasn't started since 508 started towing cars. No one has had an issue with coming to the impound and getting their vehicle out of the, maybe besides the fact that PD would never pick up the phone, or it takes them a year and a half to get down to the impound. But it was never,
that is something that
it was never a monetary issue. So yes, adjusting those rates slightly so people aren't paying, $500,000 to get their car out of the impound, or, paying something that's completely ridiculous. I'm speaking more so on, regulations as far as behavior. We have, once again, Potent V2 says, yeah, I've been shot by 508. Go ahead.
Come on, man.
I feel like people getting shot by 508 is definitely something that they should not be employed at 508. If they are shooting people, there's no legal reason for a tow truck company to be shooting people unless they were shot at first, and that's
so. What would you do?
Straight up Second Amendment, right there.
What would you do if 508 is shooting people? What would you do with the business?
Well,
if 508 is actively going out and causing harm, then I don't think you should regulate that business. I think that business should be shut down the same as
Yeah,
any other
absolutely.
business should be.
Absolutely, it
Now-
should be RICO'd immediately.
But there would need to be a legal case. There'd have to be incident reports. There's a whole 9 yards. Because if you get shot, the hospital puts in an incident report, and police put in an incident report. So there will be incident reports, and those are the things that you need, because otherwise, I can say you shot me, and if there's no reports on it or nothing, then I can just say that, and what you know.
So, Jack,
And so
I
it's
have a
something-
question. You're an
Yes.
economic guy, right? You said your main focus is the economy.
I think the economy needs to flourish for the city to flourish. Absolutely.
No, what I was saying, your specialization is economy, correct?
Yeah, sure. You know, that's the main focus right now.
Okay, so the answer is yes.
I
Right.
mean, I have other issues I'd like to address, but the
Oh.
economy's the top priority right now.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. So you don't think a 50% margin is not good?
I think instead of 508 being the monopoly, I mean, I think Benny's has a tow truck. I think Benny should be getting out there and towing trucks instead, because why would you hire a third party to tow someone to your shop? It doesn't
Okay,
make sense
so,
to me.
Again, that's extra payroll and that's extra labor that Benny's would have to go and source. 508 is specialized in only towing. Benny's is specialized in mechanic repairs, cosmetics, etc.
Sure.
So I'm not necessarily regulating this business. Say if another towing company was created, then yes, nothing would be controlled by 508 Tow. They can set their own rates because there's another
Which-
one. But I'm giving them the opportunity to still make money by a margin of 50%, which is more than enough for anything. They are still making money. It's just to ensure that people aren't getting overcharged.
And now here's it comes back to monopolies, which I'm part of my policies that I plan to put in place are there to prevent monopolies. I want to encourage Digital Den or another Click Lovers-esque store to open up to rival Click Lovers, because I feel that Puff Puff Pass, Click Lovers, every place that doesn't have a rival business. I mean, take a look at the mechanic shops, right? So if you go to the mechanic shops, and we'll say Benny's isn't open, just for example, since I was just talking with Benny's. If Benny's isn't open, what do? Do you just sit there and you call, hey, can Benny's open up? No, what you're going to do is you're going to go and you're going to go to Harmony. You're going to go to Tuners. You're going to go to Customs, because they have to stay open because there is so much competition. This is
Jack,
we have an open market, and that is something
I
that we
get-
need to utilize. And it also puts money into pockets of the everyday civilian.
I get what
People
you're
can still
saying.
trust these businesses.
Right? It makes sense, but again, we are indeed in an open market, right? But it is not your fault nor mine that other people do not want to open another phone store, another towing company. That has nothing to do with any politics at all. That is simply up to that person if they want to do it or not. So that's why, as in right now, if they're the only business, yes, they should indeed be slightly regulated. Of course, we're not going to make them bankrupt, but we're going to make sure they're increasing their profit.
So
I get what
correctly-
you're saying. Yes, you want to encourage people, but anyone can do that. You sound like the grandpa right now.
So
Hey,
correct
honey,
me
can
if
you
I'm
open
wrong.
your own phone store?
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Now-
What you're basically saying is you're because you're not regulating them because nobody wants to open up anything. You're regulating it because they are the only one. No one has come forward and say, hey, I'm
Yes.
going to open it up. And because they are the only tow company out here, speaking of 508 once again, because they are the only tow company out here, 508 has the ability, the opportunity to charge whatever the hell they want.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
who else are you going to go to for a tow? Of course you
Yes.
can call, a mech shop, say, hey, I need a tow. But 9 times out of 10, if it's 508 on duty, you know who you're going to call, right? Your car's parked outside
and-
up under the canopy. Benny's isn't going to take
I
your
think
car,
if-
So with that being said, if they have the ability to charge whatever the fuck they want because they, are the only thing like that, they should have, some sort of regulation like, hey, yes, you are the only tow company here. Yes, you are the only one with this company, but what you're not going to do is, take out of
Rip
the
off the
pockets
citizens.
rip off
Exactly.
citizens.
So
I would rather dissolve the company rather than regulate it, because I feel that if the company is not doing the job it's meant to do, it should not be in the economy.
Jack, they are doing the job they're supposed to do, but the issue is they're doing it the wrong way, and they're overstepping their boundaries. I do want to say I appreciate this podcast. This was extraordinary. I'm glad that you're here, Jack, and I'm glad we had technically the first ever live debate. But I do have a dinner to be going to now. It starts in 15 minutes.
Yeah, we do gotta cut this short. This got a little heated, and we didn't even get no music. It was so good. It's all good though.
What I will say, Jack, is you're more than welcome to come to the dinner. There's going to be a larger audience, therefore
we
more
can
questions.
we can finish this. We can finish this.
We can give you a ride there right now if you want. Are you willing to do that?
I've got my bike parked out back, but to be fair,
you don't want to go.
I do have some plans, but I'll talk it over with the people I made plans with, and I'll swing on by. All right?
Jack. Come
Well, look,
on.
y'all, we appreciate y'all for coming out.
I'll make a fashionable late entry. All right.
You either have fun.
We definitely
508
appreciate.
don't do
everybody
anything
coming out.
transactional.
We are definitely gonna have a
Yeah,
part 2.
I got some. I'm sorry, y'all. We about to shut this down. I just wanted to say what Ivan said. He was right. He's right too. 508 does need to be regulated. All the other businesses are transactional. 508 is not transactional. It's crazy. They tow your car with no knowledge or consent, and they charge you for it. There's nothing capitalistic about what 508 does.
All right.
That was the last note.
This was great.
Go ahead.
This was great.
I appreciate you guys hosting me. And,
yes,
indeed.
Indeed. Thank you for inviting me and Jack.
right.
Esco, this was a great Esco and
Yes, sir.
yeah,
And Izzy.
This is Izzy. Yes, this was a great podcast. Thank you for inviting me and Jack.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all for
and
coming.
just remember, vote for Oscar Solomons, and I'll see you at the dinner. The postal code is 6173 at the Emerald Bar. But thank you very much, guys. I'm going to head out now. Thank you.
All right, man. You take it easy. And again, everybody, thank you for coming and joining into the podcast. Everybody that tuned in, it was a great debate. It was awesome. Make sure y'all stay looking out for that prom that's coming up soon. Vote for everything that's going on. We got a lot going on this week. We have we got the prom. We got what else? Fucking job interviews. There's a lot of shit going on this week. Unfortunately, I didn't get to touch bases on everything because the debate got so heated. So we about to get out of here. We got to get to this dinner. We'll be back up and running Saturday, so we'll have more going on. And I'll talk to y'all again later.
Get it how we live, we learn the harder way. We don't show no pity, the good times. Pity is just a life in the city. Pull up as class, anonymous on the dash. This life we living fast, we gotta get to this cash. Live a life of crime, PD gon' be on your ass. If you choose to take a slow, you might prosper to get a bag. I'm somewhere in the middle, a cross between risking it all and being simple. Playing chess, not checkers, false moves, detrimental. And take care of my game because my family is my temple. And shit can get intense. The life we go through. If you were in my shoes, I wouldn't approach you. We get it how we live, we learn the harder way. But we don't show no pity, the good times we pity. It's just a life in the city. Life we go through. If you were in my shoes, I wouldn't approach you. We get it how we live, we learn the harder way. But we don't show no pity, the good times we pity. It's just a life in the city. This is immense.
Yeah, started from the bottom, now we here. And I'm pulling on the drive, switching gear. Living in my life, it's getting serious. Yeah, I know this fucking city getting curious. Esco with Kitty on a beat. You know we fucking out it back in heat. Like we from Miami, we a team. Yeah, tacked a fucking vest, we looking mean. Out here in the fields, we growing green. Partying it up and sipping lean. Yeah, not legion of the club, we in between. With a gun in our hands, it's a machine. Nothing like the city throwing bands. Stetch covering the shit, throwing hands. Ivan is my dad, yeah, he's the man. Started up with Jay.
The life we go through. If you were in my shoes, I wouldn't approach you. We get it how we live, we learn the harder way. But we don't show no pity, the good times we pity. It's just a life in the city. Life we go through. If you were in my shoes, I wouldn't approach you. We get it how we live, we learn the harder way. But we don't show no pity, the good times we pity. It's just the life in the city. Man.
Cowboy killer with a Mexican OT. Pull the mask on my face and I don't even ski. I'm a natural born sinner. Stone cold winter, heavy clothes in the summer dripped out like it's winter. I'm an old school soul, but a new school spinner. So I'm pouring out my soul with a quill and a feather. All the glitters isn't gold, so my soul is a treasure. Got this flow from the helm, hieroglyphics is the measure. Syndicate, yeah, we run this. Funds in abundance. I like my bitches with their skin a little sun kissed. I like nasty bitches who ain't afraid of a plumpkin. Fuck using a blade, I up the heat and start dumping. And see sport go sideways, south side of highways. Go to runners' pockets, but the bodies start to fly away. I'm running through this town with the heat in my pocket. Whipping is sport, black suits, yeah, they bought it. Riding on this flow like I'm sipping hypnotic. Hi, my name is Nubu while I'm looking idiotic. Shooting at the ops on the block where they frolic. Gotta hit my power up like my chamber hyperbolic. Man, I'm just a shooter, but my role play erotic. Never catch me slipping, cause you know that I brought it. Nobu, I'm so sick, glow like a glow stick. Call me no hose, cause they on me like a glue stick. Monica Khabib be the way that I'm boosting. Sebi call the six, cause I know that they're shooting. Dancing on the bodies when I know I should be looting. Trying to get the picture so we post it on the board. Population 6,000, railroad tracks dividing up the town. Separate the haves from the have-nots. Mind up in the cosmos, call me Mr. Cosmonaut. Onslaught, the entourage, subterfuge internally. Thoughts inside me burning me. Had to get the jab, have to wonder, try and murder me. That ended in a question as it seemed things often do. Money or the fame, which vice did they offer you? They didn't offer me shit. Here screaming me next. Sick of all the pretense, yo motherfucker running shit. Have a seat with me next. I pulled up to your shire, they had no recollection of you could commit a crime, cause there ain't no connection to your punchlines are weak. You look like a Khajiit, that's a pussy reference for those who are nerdy. Sorry to the ladies, cause I really suck at flirting. I rap around on sentence, you hear the beat, it's reverting. Pulled the beat from YouTube, my producer lost faith in me. Never was shit, never gonna be shit. Pocket picking rogue in these streets, you can't beat this. Walk into my cribs if you fuck with my feng shui. I like my bitches like they fresh off the runway. Didn't come from riches, but I'm still hoping one day I'm the motherfucker, kill my ops on a Sunday. Flyest motherfucker dropping bombs on the runway. You ripping in a beam, I'm sliding ops in a Hyundai. De La Rose top shelf, more goals than the Stanley Cup. Always broke the rules and truly never gave a fuck. 1, 2, 3 for the homies that they locked up. 5, 5, 6 for this world that got me fucked up. Silly little whore, making sure that I'm sucked up. I know that sounded horrible, but I promise I'm not fucked up. That's the way she like it, I'ma give her lockjaw. I like witchy bitches, Amish bitches call me Papa.
Louis.
I've done a couple things to get God to try and smite me, but I'm still breathing, so I figure he just like me. LSA did it, strike your block just like some lightning. I'm starting to ascend and the power's feeling frightening. From daybreak to midnight, I did everything right. Tried not to slide, but it just didn't feel right. Hiatus didn't work out. White on my flag, finna make these gangsters twerk now. Mob ties curly on my reaper to the street shit. Cops showed up, said it's Nobu, so we breaching. I didn't do shit, but he said that I was reaching. Dashed off the scene, now the Subi tire screeching. When it comes to shooting, man, I do it just like Nike. Gotta dump the body, so we acting like we hiking. Take over like a Viking. Hi, my name is Nobu, on your head top like some icing.
fire, you can spend a band in the city. Get it how you live in the city. Welcome to a man. You ain't gotta be gang, but you gotta maintain just to live in the city. Brand new whip, fresh kicks, hit licks, get rich, gon' do the damn thing in the city. Welcome to a mess. Put a start, new whip with the gang, tryna get the job done. Living in the city where it ain't no love, but it's love for the ones who would never try something. Loyalty first, let's get this money. I take all the hundreds, you keep all the 20. You say you my shorty, then baby, let's ride. Pull up to Benny's, I heard it's a vibe. Chill with my drives, though I talk to big homie, he reading me names off a hit list. Then I pull up on set where I get much respect. With ruthless, we smoking them big splits. Check my phone, put work in that. I gotta make plays at 8 o'clock. I'm hitting the Rico cause he need a fruit, though I shoot all the bags to the last drop. I heard it's a party up at Bahama Mama and the strippers be going crack. The ops in this bitch playing smart, gotta leave a little solo cause it's been a long day. I pulled up at Legion, sat on our side, we post up and talk about a few things. Jay hit me up, said he got Dracos for sale and they letting they nuts hang. It's all about the money, tip on the heights, my boy told me where I can start it at. They tipping the fees, I still gotta wait for this shit, then they gave me a heart attack. I be up in the cut, I be chillin', just me and a couple of villains. The goal is put the gang on top and stack the money up to the ceiling. Welcome to a man. Shit can get a mess in the city, it can get intense in the city. You can work a 9 to 5, you can spend a band in the city. Get it how you live in the city. Welcome to a man. You ain't gotta be gang, but you gotta maintain just to live in the city. Brand new, good, fresh kicks, hit, rich, get rich, don't do anything in the city. Welcome to a man. Shit can get a mess in the city. It can get intense in the city. You can work a 9 to 5, you can spend a band in the city. Get it how you live in the city. Welcome to a man. You ain't gotta be gang, but you gotta maintain just to live in the city. Brand new, good, fresh kicks, hit, rich, get rich, don't do the damn thing in the city. Welcome to a man. Shit to a mess. I was in my head. My phone shot it. What you trying to do? It's always a vibe whenever we ride. So baby girl, say what you think of me. If I don't respond, I'm lost in my thoughts. I'm sorry I do this so frequently. Got a lot on my mind, I think I'll be fine. Don't ask if I'm okay so frequently. I respect that you showed me some decency. It's mutual, baby, come be with me. I be all in my head. Lost in my thoughts, it's my fault, I be all in my head. Yeah, I didn't hear what you said. My bad, but I'm back. I was all in my head. Yeah. It's been a long day, but girl, I fuck with you the long way. Never said that I was perfect, but baby, it's worth it and we gon' be okay. I be all in my head. Lost in my thoughts, it's my fault, I be all in my head. Yeah. I be up in the days at times, puff puff, had me blazed at times, on a whole nother page at times. Can't nobody ride this wave of mine, I try to stay in my lane. I be chillin' with the gang, go back in my head, roll another strain. Yeah. Pull up the puff puff, Dippin' Ellie got that good gas for the low low. Let me get that purple haze pronto, got some blue dream in my console. In the caddy, the seat sitting way back. Oxys with shawty, we lay back. Getting this money, it's all about the bread. Pass you the keys, I'ma go in my head. It's always a vibe whenever we ride. So baby girl, say what you think of me. If I don't respond, I'm lost in my thoughts. I'm sorry I do this so frequently. Got a lot on my mind, I think I'll be fine. Don't ask if I'm okay so frequently. I respect that you showed me some decency. It's mutual, baby, come be with me. I be all in my head. Lost in my thoughts, it's my fault, I be all in my head. I didn't hear what you said. My bad, but I'm back. I wasn't all in my head.
Nothing but change in my pocket. Neck there's a locket. Let's not talk about what's in mine. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Gas bill ain't paid, and what am I to say? Life has been a day, but mama said I'd be a legend on the stage. You found me, I was a low life, living no life. When I'm with you, I'm a rock star or a pop star. We'll go so far, baby, now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. When I'm with you, oh, oh, oh. When I'm with you, now There's a new locket, this love you can't stop it. Butterflies when it's her and I. Whoa, whoa, whoa. My life was filled with misery. Now with her it's history. And mama said I'd find you one day, one day. Whoa, I feel fine. Yeah, feel so fine. Whoa, doobie doobie doo. When I'm with you, you found me. I was a low life, living no life. When I'm with you, I'm a rock star or a pop star. We'll go so far, baby. Now, whoa, whoa, whoa. When I'm with you, I feel so fine. Yes, yeah, yeah.
This is an ESCO exclusive.
What's goody, my ninja?
Big racks in my hand with the fam, get it in, big straps in the van. And everybody talking so tough until we step, cause the whole city know us. I'm with the fam every day screaming EBK, and if they radio win, you gon' see my face. And this shit can get intricate, but nobody won't be with the syndicate. Big racks in my hand with the fam, get it in, big straps in the van. And everybody talking so tough until we step, cause the whole city know us. I'm with the fam every day screaming EBK, and if they radio win, you gon' see my face. And this shit can get intricate, but nobody won't be with the syndicate. Don't nobody wanna play with the gang, but everybody got something to say to the gang. Grind hard, pave the motherfucking way for the gang. Get this love so them boys going crave for the gang. And ain't nobody really saying shit, but they saying shit. If you get it, you get it. All these gangs be talking tough, but they pray a lot because they really ain't with it. Ain't gotta be specific because it's a bunch of bitches in the city who really ain't stepping. All of that yapping until we start clapping, and y'all get distressing from losing them weapons. If you ain't with smoke, better call for protection. Don't do too much talking, it's cold cases. You see them demons, they dripping in black and gold. Ski masks with cold faces. Look, I ain't gon' say too much. They be like, Esco, you play too much. Shoot out to tell her that biker exhaust. Look in your compound and find what you lost. You flex on my family, we taking you off. A price on your head, it don't matter the cost. Cold in this road, you get hit by the frost. There's consequences when you play with a boss. Took a loss, but we bounced back like an ounce stepped on. Pull up, get your whole house stepped on. Syndicate shit, we ended this shit. How we slide with a thought, we invented this shit. Bounce back like an ounce stepped on. Pull up, get your whole house stepped on. Syndicate shit, we ended this shit. How we slide with a thought, we invented this shit. Big racks in my hand with the fam, get it in, big straps in the van. And everybody talking so tough until we step, cause the whole city know us. I'm with the fam every day screaming EBK, and if they radio win, you gon' see my face. And this shit can get intricate, but nobody won't be with the syndicate. Big racks in my hand with the fam, get it in, big straps in the van. And everybody talking so tough until we step, cause the whole city know us. I'm with the fam every day screaming EBK, and if they radio win, you gon' see my face. And this shit can get intricate, but nobody won't be with